and we can talk about this.
My name is Doni from BTPN. I'm just still not clear on the incentive for the merchant to accept the voucher payment. I think maybe you can elaborate more about that.
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. So we think that there are many incentives, many things that are very interesting for the retailer. The first thing is, of course, more customers come to his shop. In fact, where in the UK and the US, where there are many ATMs in shops, the total turnover of the revenue of the shop goes up by 10% because people come just to get cash. And then, of course, what happens is they say, well, I think I'll go to that shop. I know there's an ATM or an RTM in that shop. I'll get some cash. And then they say, oh, I think I'll buy some chocolates, right? People do that, impulse purchases. So the average in the US and the UK, when there is an ATM in a shop, is that the total revenue for the shop goes up by 10%. Okay, that in itself is very interesting. The second thing that is very interesting is that cash that he has in the store, he is now depositing without having to do anything. He's getting a remote cash deposit. He didn't actually do anything. Did you understand how that works? Because when somebody comes in and takes cash out, in the background, our RTM does an instant cash deposit. Now, as a bank, you can choose whether it is instant or 1 hour later. It is your decision, okay, how you do it. But generally speaking, technology-wise, we can do an instant cash deposit into the retailer's bank account. So now that is obviously very good for the retailer because he now has less cash in his store, right? He's not piling up lots of cash in the store that then at the end of the day, he has to take to the bank branch. And if it goes perfectly for him, maybe he never has to go to the bank, right? Because people are coming in spending money, and then other people are coming in taking money out. Think about it this way, right? Imagine that you ask the question, how much cash do people need? And how much cash is there inside the shops? And here's the way to see the question. Imagine you have a small village, right? And imagine this village is very far away from Jakarta. And in this village, there are 7 shops. How much cash do you think is needed for the people who want to spend money in the shops? You know what is the answer, right? It is exactly equal to the amount of cash deposited in the shop. Because the cash is recirculating inside that village. The amount of money that the village needs for deposits and for dispense is identical until some foreign guy like Steve comes in and spends his money in the village, right? So now there's a little bit more cash because Steve came in. But okay, so people will come from outside the village and spend some money. But in general, there will be more cash taken in the shop than you need to dispense. With the RTM, what happens is that cash is recirculating inside the village without having to ship it back to Jakarta, right? Think about the cost of doing that. And in every country, and it's not just an Indonesian issue, in every country around the world, cash is being physically moved from rural areas back to the central bank in order to recirculate, right? And the cost of that is very high. Okay, so one of the advantages for the shop is that it reduces the amount of money that is moved because he is depositing that money. And then the final answer, and this is really up to you guys in the banks, right? About how you incentivize the shopkeeper. My feeling is that you don't need more incentive for the for the retailer, because he's going to get more people coming into his shop, right? And he's getting people coming into the shop with money in his pocket. You know, the thing that a shopkeeper loves the most is a customer with money in his pocket. Because you know, one of the things that Steve talked about, imagine that a customer comes into your shop, buys some stuff, and then he discovers, oh, I don't have enough money. That's really a bad situation for the shopkeeper, right? And this happens more often than you think. People come in, think they have enough money, but they don't. Either they don't have enough cash, or worse, they do a POS transaction and they are declined. You know how embarrassing that is, right? None of us want to be in that situation, but it happens all the time. But with an RTM, the customer goes in, takes money out, he's got now money in his pocket. He's a rich guy, right? He's got money in his pocket. And you're very comfortable, you're very happy, because he's got money in his pocket. He comes into the shop with money in his pocket. Fantastic. So when we talk to retailers, they are crystal clear, this is brilliant. This is exactly what they want. In my opinion, you don't need any more incentive. But there's one more incentive you can give. What is that? for every transaction, you can say, you know what, I'll share 10% of the interchange fee with you. As the bank, I'm making 20 pence or whatever the number is. In the United States, it's 24 cents, right? The interchange fee is 24 cents. You can say, you know what, I'll give you 10% of that for doing this transaction for me. It's your decision, right? My personal view is that over a period of time, there will be a power balance between the bank and the shop, and you negotiate and you come up with some answer. I personally think that because of all the extra benefits that the shopkeeper has, you do not need to give him a percentage of the interchange fee. But we will see.